This is an animation done with the Wick Editor, which is an online platform. You don't have to download anything. And this is also done with the Wick Editor. The difference is the second one has a scrolling background. So the monster and the man look like they're running, but really only the background is moving. Scrolling the background is a great advantage because you get a better look at your characters as opposed to having them just rush right across the screen. It keeps what's most important on the screen while still creating the sense of movement. I used Photopia to create a scrolling background. Whatever the size of your stage is, you want the scrolling background to have the same height but twice the width. So it's going to look like a long scroll. I took a drawing of mine and scanned it, and I'm going to use that. I'm going to open it, copy it, and paste it, put it all the way to one side. Go layer, duplicate layer, just like I would in Photoshop, and then transform, flip horizontal, match the two layers up so that they're connected with each other like puzzle pieces, and then do layer merge down so that I have one layer with both of them. And keep doing that over and over again until you have a single layer with a repeating background that goes all the way across. I stretched mine out to fill the document, and I wasn't all that worried about keeping the proportions the same. If you want to keep the proportions the same as you are enlarging it, just hold down the Shift key. When you go to select various areas to color, like I'm using the gradient tool, if you hold the Shift key down and you magic wand multiple areas, it'll select multiple areas. So that's how I added the gradient exactly as I would using Photoshop, and I saved the entire document as a PNG. It's important not to make the background too colorful. The focal point is always the character. The background should fade and be less important. Now I'm going to take that asset, the background, and I'm going to bring it into the Wick Editor. So the background I just created is coming into the Wick Editor, and I'm going to line it up with the stage. Here, I just imported it. I'm going to line it up with the stage, and I'm going to resize it. If I don't want it to warp, again, hold the Shift key down while you resize it. And I'm going to line the left-hand side of it up with the stage, and then I'm going to copy that frame, paste that frame, and then in the second frame, move the stage slightly. So what I'm doing is I'm copying each frame, pasting it, and then using the move tool to just gradually drag the background across the stage. And I'm creating a scrolling background before I add my characters. When I'm done and I have scrolled the background all the way across the stage, I'm going to create a second layer, and I'm going to then drag this background layer to the bottom, and I'm going to hide it. So the top layer is where I'm going to be putting my characters. So you do the background layer first. I'm just finishing up. Now I'm going to go to the bottom, and I'm going to add a new layer. And then I just tested it out by playing it, and I'm going to drag that second layer up and the background layer down, and I'm going to hide the background layer. Now I'm going to bring in my characters. I just have this little bird where the wings are in an up position, a middle position, and a bottom position, and I'm going to just keep rotating between up, middle, bottom, middle, up, middle, bottom, middle, up, middle, bottom, middle, up, middle, bottom, so that the middle frame of the wings in mid-flight is going to keep getting repeated, but what follows it is either going to be wings in the up position or wings in the down position, and when I play it, it's going to look like the wings are flapping. Now, what I did was I realized after I was done that the background was scrolling one way and the bird was flying in the other direction, so it looked like the bird was flying backward. It looked really stupid. So I actually had to go back and I had to flip all the birds over. So if you go to the top, that down arrow on the top, not next to the garbage can, that little down arrow, one of the choices is you can flip the characters around. So there's just a choice. You have to go frame by frame. You can't do them all at once, but you can hit that down arrow and flip each frame horizontal. There's only about 20 frames here, so it's not going to take you that long. Otherwise, it'll look stupid, like the bird's flying in the wrong direction. So watch, it's just flip horizontal, and I've got to go frame by frame. It didn't take me that long. I flipped each bird. I didn't have to move it or line it up again. I just flipped each one, and now the bird is going in the correct direction, and when I play my video, it looks like the bird is moving, and people see the bird as moving through the city, but it's really the background that's scrolling and the bird is staying still. Now, when I am done, there's a little gear in the upper right hand corner. I'm going to want to rename my project. So I name my project Bird in Flight, and then I'm going to export my project. If you just hit save, you're saving a Wick Editor document. You're not saving an animation. So there's two different ways to save it. One is as a GIF, or graphic interchange format, which is a little repeating image, and the other is as an MP4. As your teacher, I actually really do need the MP4, but I'd like you to export the GIF as well. So you're going to take the GIF and the MP4 and put them into Google Classroom. You just have to hit export. And when you're done, you will hopefully have a very short little movie, probably about 2 seconds long, showing a scrolling background and a character that's moving across the screen and yet actually never moves.